Yetta, what's wealth without happiness and health?
It's a bank account for misery.
Ooh.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
We are actually kind of delighted that we've been for over 35 years coming alongside you, not only to sell, buy, and invest in real estate over 3,117 times, but coming alongside you to build your fund, which is what we've been doing, and build your finances, and build your faith, your fitness, and even strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationship. We're having a new kind of relationship today. It's called an interview style conversation with Care from CHRI, which has been freaking me out.
It's been fun, and you guys have been doing so great because I'm getting so much from you guys because you've had so much experience and you're living it. So, it's not just like you were saying in the previous segment, there's authenticity there. So what people see is what they get, but it's coming from history. It's coming from a place of experience. And so what are you guys doing? If we can just dive right in, I want to hear your experience on just how you've been able to manage a lifestyle that can promote vitality. I mean, there's some practical things you guys have actually implemented in your scheduling and your routines. Can you share some of that so we can all take notes?
Yes. And if it doesn't work for you, what I say to everybody is we're sharing our ideas and what's worked for us. Listen to it from the perspective of like trying on a new coat. I'm sure you've been to a store and you've decided it's chilly season right now if you're listening in real time and trying on a new coat, and you put one on and go, I don't feel so good. Yes, this one feels better. And you keep going till you find the one that fits right and is your best solution for being cold. When it comes to hearing our thoughts and our insights and what we've done, listen like you would trying on a new coat. Test it out. Don't just throw it out before you try it on. Try it on, and if it feels good, keep it on, and if it doesn't, then toss it.
I would even say keep it on for a while.
Yeah.
Because the things that we've learned to do, they were not natural at first. Like Yetta she's a born get up early in the morning full of energy and chipper. Like I just wanted to shoot her. And
tell them how you really think it is.
I was.
No filter? Yeah.
I was. And so I was wake up maybe when the alarm went off, and I would feel awake 2-3 hours later. I don't drink coffee, so I wasn't using artificial stimulation, but it took me hours to wake up. And so now I'm a 5 a.m. person by choice, not by nature. And the reason I did that was because I was staying up, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, watch the news, which is mostly bad news, watch shows that I couldn't, they don't bring any value to me. And a week later, I don't even remember what movie I watched or whatever, right? It's just brain numbing time. So now if I go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, I can still get up at 5. And then at 5, we can spend that vital time together, right? With the Lord, with each other, with discussing, with reading. It's when the brain is fresh and it can absorb the most. And then real estate doesn't really start till, most people don't want a phone call from their realtor until after 8 a.m. at least.
Or 9 preferably.
Or 9. And so that became our vitality time that we can spend together as a couple and individually.
So prioritizing, I think, is what you're saying. And identifying, I guess before you can prioritize, you want to identify what feels good to you, like what works in your life. When we had little children that were toddlers, well, we couldn't get 3 hours alone together. So we prioritized 30 minutes. Yeah. And it was, at one season, it was focus on the family from 5:30 to 6. Because for the most part, they weren't up yet. And if they were, well, they interrupted our schedule and we didn't get too angry about the whole thing. Here's an interesting piece one of my coaches has shared, and I now share with people all the time. If you can get your preferred schedule, your preferred rituals, routines, or habits executed 80% of the time, that is perfection. You're actually not shooting for 100%. You're really shooting for 80% because then you feel good about what you've done. Like part of vitality and being good in your own skin is feeling like you've won, not like you're a loser, not like you can't do it again. I'm failed again. I can't. Well, that isn't going to create vitality and probably isn't going to help you earn money as well or actually do anything as well.
Have you seen experiences of this, whether in your own lives or somebody else's, where someone has pursued financial wealth so strongly that everything else took a backseat and suffered?
Yeah. Well, we've seen, people that became our clients where someone in the family was going so strong to run their business, to earn money, that they forgot that they have a wife and children at home. And then, we work to reconcile that family. This particular one didn't work. Other ones work. It's kind of fun because sometimes they call us to say, hey, we want to sell our house because things are not going well in the family. We need to separate. And we'll work at helping repair the relationship. The last case scenario is to sell the house. That's not our main goal when we arrive. It's just a different philosophy. Sometimes we have to, but
yeah. And we're not going to be your marriage counselor. We're not a therapist, not that. One of the questions we will ask though, is there, and we risk it, we're risking our relationship with you, and I get that. But we're asking the question, is there any way that with the right supports, we could be keeping the house and keeping the family together? And if it feels like the right thing to ask, which I've asked it more than I don't ask it, and so have you. And sometimes it's like, no, we really don't want this. We just don't see an alternative. It's like, well, we can't directly help you. And here are some people that we have worked with or that we've seen clients work with. And sometimes it is the difference maker and they keep their house. Yeah. I mean, we have nothing but want and desire for people to live in vitality in their own situation, right? And sometimes the answer is no, like, don't ask me that again. I won't. It's just
boundaries or something.
One and done. One and done. And sometimes we know enough of the situation that it would be inappropriate to ask that question.
Right.
Yep. And, financially, your financial ability to do what you need to do in life, to put food on the table, to do, shelter. And when that gets stressed, that affects vitality. And so sometimes people are asking us, well, how do we hang on to our house? And our recommendation is that they don't. In other cases, we've had, a client near Osgood, this must be 25 years ago. They said, oh, come on over. It was probably 94, 95 during that little bit of economic downturn.
That's 30 years ago. Just FYI.
Okay. And they said, I want to sell my house. And Yetta said the question, is there anything we could do that you wouldn't want to sell it? And he said, well, financially, we can't seem to keep it. We don't have the business. We don't have the work. And we actually assisted in them getting their business started, put some ads in our newsletter. And it's 30 years now. He and his wife still live in that same home. And their daughter bought the house literally 300 yards away from a client that we were selling that house, and she moved in there. So now the family's literally 300 feet apart, and they own 2 houses.
Something was working in the background there, and you guys got to be a part of it.
Well, and it was a small business it was a construction business. So we were actually able to advocate for him with our own clients as well as support them in promotion, right? We can't always do this.
Yes.
Right? It's just if the opportunity's there, why wouldn't we?
Well, and we should talk about community in a later episode because I feel like that ties in with that a lot. But maybe we can wrap up, but also maybe encourage people with your clarity call, because it sounds like people might be in a situation where they just have a few questions on what they can do to maximize that vitality. Yeah,
if they want to reflect on how they can invest in their vitality in their home and they want a little advice, give us a call at 613-867-6058. And we're glad that you joined us on Life's Inside Track, because when we move forward together, we got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.